Spun to Run. In the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he defeated a loaded field that included multiple Grade 1 winners Omaha Beach and Improbable. His brilliant speed figures were among the fastest of any 3-year-old at a mile or more. And he hails from the legendary Danzig sire line. Multiple graded stakes winner, millionaire, Breeders' Cup champion, Spun to Run, standing at Gainesway.
Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The feature race at Golden Gate Fields is one of the signature races of the entire season in Northern California. It is the El Camino Real Derby. Kentucky Derby points on the line for the majority of the field, as well as an automatic berth in the Preakness Stakes. $100,000 is the purse. We're going 9 furlongs on the Tapeta surface. Let's take a look at this field. Our coverage is presented by Gainesway. First 2-year-olds are going to come out this summer for Gainesway's Taproot. Belmont Stakes winner, son of Gainesway's great stallion, Tappet. McKinnon, 8-5 on the morning line, Mike, in the El Camino Real Derby. I would not be surprised at all if he goes off a lot shorter.
I wouldn't either. I mean, he's very, very clearly the horse to beat in here, Dan, a horse who was a really good 2-year-old on a different surface. So you do have, the surface which you're to worry about, but this is a good horse. I expect him to be solidly favored.
I'm curious to see how this pace plays out. We'll take a look at how Time for the U.S. projects it. They're not expecting a ton of speed in here, but Nuestro Engredo, who is stretching out, should be able to make the lead. I'm not so sure about Dr. Pescado, the number 4, Mike. I do think the 1 Stormy Samurai can be close, the 3 Unraptured, and I would expect the 4 to show speed for Mr. Baffert.
Yeah, that's probably true. I mean, we'll see how fast it gets. It is a pretty big field, though, so you could have, guys going for position here into that first turn, and that could heat things up.
Number 1 is Stormy Samurai. This horse scored at Golden Gate Fields last time out on January the 28th. We're going to watch that race right now, and Stormy Samurai was sprinting. He has never gone 2 turns. This is going to be a big stretch out in distance from 6 to 9 furlongs, but he finished up pretty well in this race. He did get a good setup.
He did. We'll see. It is obviously, the question with him is obviously the distance. He's stretching all the way out to 9 furlongs, so that could be a big deal, but he drew a really good post for that stretch out. I like his tactical speed, Dan, and listen, he's 2 for 3 on the main track up here at Golden Gate. I thought he ran really well in both of the wins, and his figures, put him, it looks like based on his figures anyway, that he has a chance to really take a step forward here. And if he does, he could get a piece of this.
Morning line favorite, horse to beat. Number 2, McKinnon, shipping up north for trainer Doug O'Neill. Already multiple stakes winner on the turf. 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. You can understand why they took a shot on the dirt last time out in the Sham. And just think, slow pace, controlled up front by Newgrange, who came back to win the Southwest at Oakland with an 89 buyer over a speed-friendly track. McKinnon tried to rally from last. He was pulling early behind that slow pace. He angled to the outside. He did his best in that race. It was fine.
Yeah, I agree with all that, and he earned a solid 82 buyer for that performance back on the main track. I suppose, Dan, just when you take him apart, obviously he's a really good turf horse, but he ran well enough on dirt now, so now you switch to the 3rd surface, and you just sort of feel like, he'll probably handle it. We'll see if he does. If he does handle it, it's going to be a handful in here. This horse was a very good 2-year-old.
Number 3 in here is Unraptured, and we're going to take a look at his most recent race. He successfully handled 2 turns at Golden Gate, but he only did it against 2 other horses. He's well-bred. He's a half-brother to Jalen Journey, graded stakes winner sprinting, believe won the DeFrancis Memorial, but hard to analyze them off this race, Mike. This is how they work in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. There's really nothing going on here, and he's just way better than these horses at 1-5. He also won his debut, his only other start on the main track here at Golden Gate. He won that race easily as well at 2-5. I mean, obviously he's got some ability, Dan, and we'll see. 10-1 on the morning line. Listen, if you like what you've seen and you want to bet him back in here, be my guest. I'm not going to argue. I thought this was a way tougher spot, obviously.
The 4 Blackadder not eligible for those Kentucky Derby qualifying points as he is trained by Bob Baffert, very expensive son of Quality Road. We'll watch his maiden win at Santa Anita last time out, going a 2-turn mile in an off-turf race. He got a good setup in here. The pace was fast. He rallied from out of it. He beat a couple of next out winners. but mostly turf horses. The 5th place horse came back to graduate, 74 buyer on the turf.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this horse is just really hard to like, especially when you realize just because he's trained by Baffert, he's going to take money in this race. He beat a bunch of turf horses last time in a race where he didn't even really improve all that much. He just, happened to meet the right field and get the job done. He didn't do anything in his first 2 starts that would make you want to bet him back in a race like this. I don't think, Dan. He's an easy toss for me.
The 5 is Nuestro Engreído, who was a winner, who was 3rd place last time out. Pace effort at Golden Gate Sprinting. This horse showed good speed. The pace was really fast for the Tapeta. 22 and change, 45 flat. This horse understandably tired. Wonder how much upside is left after 10 lifetime starts. Big question about distance, but you'll know this one early.
Yeah, there's a lot working against this horse. I suppose he'll show speed in here. He's going to be a big price if you have a good idea about him. I couldn't get there with this horse.
Boise, the number 6, has only raced once on the main track. That was a synthetic stakes win in the Gold Rush, 2 starts back at Golden Gate. They ran him in the Eddie Logan on turf last time out at Santa Anita. He was bet down to 3-1. He faced a couple of next out winners. The winner of that race came back, got blown out, but was second in the Grade 3 Lewis with a 79 buyer.
Yeah, he's kept good company, and he did win his only start over this surface in that Gold Rush. I don't know, Dan. I mean, obviously he's a contender in here. When I went back and looked at that Gold Rush, the 3rd and 4th finishers are also back in this spot. I didn't think Boise ran any better than either one of those 2 horses did, though. And it feels like he could be one of the horses in here that takes money. So I would just rather look elsewhere. Not that I don't think this horse can win.
Let's talk about the 3rd place finisher from the Gold Rush. He's up next, the number 7, Dr. Pescado, winner of the Golden Nugget Sprinting, 2 starts back. The Gold Rush was his first race going long, and he acquitted himself fine at a big price, getting up for 3rd.
Yeah, I thought he ran pretty well in that race. He had the far outside post, so his rider just sort of raided the break in there because he didn't want to get caught wide. And as it turns out, he got caught wide anyway. This horse never got to save any ground. He was 4 wide around the track. He kept racing on all the way down to the finish in there. I actually felt like he ran pretty well last time, first time on the stretch out. And I liked his stakes win 2 starts back sprinting too. I think this horse is okay.
Meet me at the club. The number 8's got a lot of work to do. He's a 2-time maiden. We'll watch his last race. They start him up into a maiden special weight, going 5.5 furlongs. He angles down to the inside, turning into the stretch, 1 pace late. He has some distance pedigree. He's going to be stretching out for the first time. He's really got to improve.
Yeah, they better hope that he's been, just sort of crying out for distance, because based on his first 2 starts, he has almost no chance in this race. We'll see if he takes a big step forward.
Come on, man. The number 9 finished 4th in the Gold Rush, and I thought he did some good things in that race, considering he was really wide all the way around the track. 3-4 wide, finished evenly in between horses. They put blinkers on him for his most recent start in the Eddie Logan on the turf, and he just didn't do anything. So I guess he's hoping getting back to synthetic will wake him up.
Yeah, the switch back to this surface, I guess, could help him. And you're right about his Gold Rush. He ran fine in that race too. He was on the outside all the way. He made an earlier run than a lot of the closers in there, including Boise. So that could have certainly, sort of sapped his close there at the end of that race. I thought he ran fine in there. He's another horse who's going to be a big price in this race. I could see using him.
Il Bellator is by Shackelford, appreciated, stretching out to 2 turns in this race on November the 25th. This was a 2-turn mile. He got right up close to the pace. The pace was pretty solid, 23 and change for the opening quarter mile, and Il Bellator is going to be driving away at the end. First race without blinkers. He beat 2 next out winners in here. The concerns, though, are myriad. His last race was on November the 25th. We just saw him duck in there. He was listed as a vet scratch last month, and he's been beaten by a couple of these horses already.
Yeah, he's been beaten by several of these horses already, but those were sprinting, and it feels like, if nothing else, this horse really improved last time when they stretched him out. He did sit a good trip in there, but he also dusted that field through the stretch, and you saw him get a little bit green there, sort of lugging in after he took that race over. To me, that suggests there could still be more improvement in this horse. And I thought he ran really well breaking his maiden. I could use this horse at a price.
Delmo, the number 11, another horse that benefited from a equipment change to win last time out at Golden Gate. This time it was blinkers on. We watch his effort going the 2-turn mile, and he rallied well from off of the pace to win this one. The runner-up came back to flatter the form somewhat. That one graduated by open lengths at Golden Gate with a 75 Beyer speed figure. Delmo changed leads and ran right by him.
Yeah, he did. And he didn't break that great in this race. I do think he ran well in here, Dan. I also felt like he got a really good setup in here because they were moving up front in that race. And not only were they moving, they were contesting it too. The other two horses in there who took money, they got hooked up on the pace together. And I think it really set the race up for this horse. I'm not saying he didn't run well last time. I don't necessarily think he ran as well as maybe he'll get credit for. And so I wanted other horses this time, but he could certainly improve again.
Top pick time for the El Camino Real Derby at Golden Gate Fields on Saturday. We're both going with McKinnon in here. Class relief. Think he'll handle the synthetic. He's run well on turf. He's run well on dirt, and just seems like a good spot.
It really does. And I feel like maybe he's just going to turn out to be a lot better than these horses, even with the surface switch. So I didn't pick against him. I'm going to use him on top. Then I'm putting the 7 and the 10 with him.
Mike's going 2-7, 10 and 1. I'll go 2-1, 11 and 4. It's the El Camino Real Derby, and our coverage presented by Gainesway.